Hey guys, you know, one of my garden beds that I really like is a round galvanized bed. But the problem with it is it's only like 12 or 16 inches tall, and I wanted something that was much taller. And I couldn't find one that was the height that I wanted, and you know, the width and the height that I wanted. And so I decided that, well, even if I could find one, it was probably going to be hundreds of dollars. And so I scrapped that and said, you know what, I'm just going to build one myself. Now, I've never seen one like this built, you know, a DIY. But I like the concept of the round one because you can just walk around, you can reach in, there's no long end to it. When you have a long or a rectangle bed, there's a long end. You have to be only from the sides. And the round ones are nice because you can reach to the center no matter where you are standing at the bed. So I formulated a plan in my head. First off, I wanted to take those 8-foot galvanized roofing, and I wanted to, see, they're 27 inches wide, and I thought that would be perfect if I could just stand one of those up and then bend it. Well, lo and behold, you can't bend one of those. Every time I tried to bend it, it started to crease wherever, because it's got a bunch of ridges, and so there's just no way that you could. You know, I even took one and laid it on a big 50-gallon barrel and thought that, you know, I could mold it, but I couldn't do it. If somebody else has a way of doing it, that'd be, you know, if they could post it, that'd be dynamite. But I wanted to take two of them and screw them together and make a nice big, you know, three or foot so raised bed, but that just didn't work. So I came up with the idea of taking one of those long ones and cutting it into thirds. And so they're 96 inches, so I ended up with 3 pieces that were 32 inches. And I did that to 2 sheets, so I got 6 pieces that were 32 inches. And then I went and took the first ridge and folded it over, you know, put one on top of the other, and then screwed it and then put, you know, pre-drilled the holes and then screwed them together. So I had this big long, what was it, 15 foot or so, and then I took it and made my bed that way. And I like it. I think it's going to work perfectly. This is going to be my new onion bed. Okay, I have decided on a small change. When I put the screws in here, I figured that what I was going to do was take and nip these off, and I have like little nippers that snip the ends of screws and nails off. Well, these zinc screws are actually harder than I thought they were, and they won't come off very easily. And so instead of taking a hacksaw and sawing these off, I'm going to take and just turn these screws around and face them out, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do to cover them up. Now, you're probably wondering why I don't just open this up and go the other way around with it. Well, the problem is that this here, the way that these are overlapped, it will make this stick out here like this. And I don't want to catch myself on that. So I'm going to keep it the way it is and have these stay flush and then just point the screws out. And then what I'm going to do is, I bought these, they're called U-posts. And these are 4 foot. And what I'm going to do is, each one of these has a channel in it anyways. So when these screws are facing outward, they will actually sit inside this channel. So when I go by, I won't snag myself on these. And then I may take a piece of wire and then just strap this to it, just to make sure this doesn't move at all, and then expose the screw so I cut myself. So I've got 5 of these, and I think I've got 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe a 5th one because I'm overlapping there. But anyways, I've got a bunch of these, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And these were only like $3.50 each. Okay, so this stiffened it up really good once I put those posts in. And you'll notice that the screws are inside that channel, which is kind of nice. And then down here, I just drilled a couple holes and put a wire around it to hold that post from moving at all against the metal. And then where these two meet, that metal is actually going down that channel also. Now for the top, I'm taking this hose that I have, an old one that I was going to toss. So what I thought I would do is I would cut the end of it off, and then I'm going to cut a channel down it, and then flip it over and put it on top. So there I've got it cut down the edge, and then I'm going to turn it over and put it on top of this metal to keep me from, it'll just take, you know, that way it's not so sharp on top. Now this wire here, it was only like $5 for a roll, so I'm just taking some of this and then drilling a hole underneath the hose and then running a wire over it, and then you cinch it up tight, and this should keep that hose from falling off. Then I just tighten it down real good and then bend the ends of it so that there's no sharp edges, and then push it down in and do this like every 8 or 10 inches or so. Now once I got the dirt in, this thing is solid as a rock. This isn't going anywhere. The only, I think, weak point would be you could conceivably, you know, if you pull up on this, you could get your finger underneath there on top of the metal and maybe, you know, but what you could do is you could drill a bunch of holes and then weave something around it to just cinch it down better, but I'm not worried about it. I don't think it's going anywhere. Okay, well, there is my new raised bed, and I'm thoroughly happy with it. It turned out, I mean, I think it turned out great. And it was under $50. And, I mean, the metal, 2 sheets of roofing and the U-posts were $3.50 each. I had 5 of those. The metal was like $14 each. And a little bit of the wire and those screws were just a few bucks, and so it was under $50 to make it. And I think it's gonna outlive me. I mean, that thing is, I mean, the only thing that the dirt is touching is the galvanized metal, and I don't think that's never gonna rust or wear out. So I'm thoroughly happy with it. I'm gonna build probably 3 or 4 more of these, and I'm making them specifically for single item things. Like this one's gonna be for onions. I'll probably build another one for rhubarb, and another one for my asparagus and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm happy with it. But like I've always said on my channel though, all the DIY stuff, I'm not an expert. I just get something in my brain and I say, hey, I'm gonna try this. Sometimes it works and I make a video of it. Sometimes it fails and you never get to see it. But anyways, so if you decide to make it, you kind of do it at your own risk, because I mean, I don't have, like, you know, OSHA, you know, on the property telling me what, you know, what is acceptable and what isn't. So it's just for home use. And so if you decide to do it, just, you know, be careful and kind of use your own judgment whether you think that it's something that you want to do. I wouldn't use it around kids unless I did something about the top and maybe the wire that I have in there kind of twisted around, because kids just seem to find trouble. I don't know how that happens. I mean, you could give a kid a cotton ball and somehow he'll end up in the hospital. So, I mean, at least that's the way my kids were. But my kids are grown, so they're not going to be out there in the garden beds getting hurt. But like I said, on the top too, if you weave something around that top rope, and now that around the top, around the hose that I use, but the hose that I used was an old 1/2-inch hose, so it was a really skinny one. If you use a regular sized garden hose, I think they're 3/4 inch, and so the hose would be bigger, and so you could probably strap it better. But it's not going anywhere. That thing is solid, you know. So I'm not worried about it at all. So I think it turned out great. So, anyways, also don't forget to subscribe. But when you subscribe, I noticed one thing that that I hadn't thought of before, that somebody mentioned to me, that the little bell, when you subscribe, there's a bell, and if you don't hit that bell, then you don't get notifications that I've uploaded a video. So if you're already subscribed, go out and hit that bell, and if you're subscribe and then hit that bell, and it'll notify you when I upload a video. But anyways, I really appreciate it. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch y'all later.